Every time you charge your phone, you are touching the front line of the next world war. Not a war with armies or missiles. A war over the 6 minerals that power every battery, every electric vehicle, and every solar panel on Earth. Most people have never heard of this war. It has been running for 30 years. A lithium-ion battery needs 6 key minerals: lithium, cobalt, nickel, manganese, graphite, and rare earth elements. Without all 6, there is no battery, no electric vehicle, no grid-scale energy storage, no green transition, according to the International Energy Agency. The demand for these minerals will increase by up to 600% by 2040. And right now, one country processes the majority of almost every single one of them. In the early 1990s, Deng Xiaoping said, "The Middle East has oil, China has rare earths." At the time, Western governments kept importing. While they were not paying attention, China spent 3 decades building the mines, the refineries, and the processing plants. The Democratic Republic of Congo holds over 70% of the world's cobalt reserves. Cobalt goes into every lithium-ion battery ever made. Chinese state-backed companies now own or hold significant stakes in the majority of its largest cobalt mines. The cobalt is mined in Congo, shipped to China for processing, and sold back to the world as battery components. Chile holds the world's largest lithium reserves. In 2023, the Chilean government announced it would nationalize its lithium sector. Mexico did the same in 2022. Bolivia, Argentina, and Zimbabwe have all moved to restrict or take control of their mineral assets. Your country mines lithium, but the only facility that can turn it into battery-grade lithium carbonate is in another country. It does not matter that you dug it up. You cannot use raw, or you need processed material. Whoever owns the processing controls the product. Here is the chain from the ground to your car. Raw, or is shipped to a facility. Processed material becomes battery chemical. Chemical is shipped to a cell manufacturer. Cell is assembled into a battery pack. Battery pack goes into an electric vehicle. China has majority control at every step. In 2023, China announced export controls on gallium and germanium, critical to semiconductors, solar panels, and military electronics. In December, it restricted exports of graphite, critical to every battery anode. These were a demonstration. China was showing the world what a supply chain looks like when someone decides to close the door. In 2022, the US passed the Inflation Reduction Act, a $369 billion investment in clean energy manufacturing. One goal was to reduce dependence on Chinese battery supply chains by incentivizing domestic production. It is the largest industrial policy since the Second World War. It is also at least a decade behind. The EU passed the Critical Raw Materials Act, setting targets to mine and process mineral needs domestically by 2030. The law is real. The mines, processing plants, and the trained workforce required to meet those targets do not yet exist. China currently operates over 70% of global battery manufacturing. Building a gigafactory takes 4 to 6 years. China is making the building harder, demonstrating very clearly that the supply chain is still in its hands. Western companies kept buying cheap components because the margins were better. Nobody wanted to pay the cost while it worked. Now the supply chain is a weapon, and the cost of changing it is much higher than it would have been 20 years ago. The oil war was fought with armies. The new energy war is fought with mining contracts, subsidies, and trade agreements. Every system like this leaves a paper trail. Most people never read it. Subscribe to Corporate Autopsy. Next case file drops soon.